They had no idea he was watching, no idea he was coming. He walked in while they were asleep, and by sunrise, they were gone. Bryan Kohberger studied criminology, then used it to plan one of the most infamous crimes in recent history. On November 13th, 2022, 4 university students were found brutally murdered in their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho. Kaylee Gonsalves, 21, Madison Mogan, 21, Xana Kanodu, 21, and Ethan Chapin, 21. Kaylee and Madison were best friends since childhood. They were popular, outgoing, and inseparable. Xana and Ethan were dating. Ethan was a triplet, and Xana was known to be full of energy and kindness. All 4 were living the college dream. But that night, their home became a crime scene. The night of the murders. It was Saturday night. Kaylee and Madison went out to a bar, then stopped by a food truck before heading home. Xana and Ethan were at a frat party. Everyone was back at the house around 2 a.m. Around 4 a.m, a DoorDash delivery was made. Xana had ordered food. And this specific detail helped investigators narrow down around what time the murders happened. Somewhere between 4 a.m. or 4:25. Someone entered the house. They moved room to room, attacking each victim. It was violent, fast, and intentional. Some say it even looked personal. What happened inside that house was horrifying. It's not confirmed who was attacked first, but Ethan and Xana were found on the floor laying next to each other. Ethan had multiple stab wounds and reportedly had his legs carved, possibly post-mortem. Xana fought back, hard. She had defensive wounds all over her hands and arms. Her fingers were nearly severed from how hard she fought back. Upstairs, Kaylee suffered the most brutal beating. It said that if she wasn't killed by stabbing, she would have been killed from the injuries to her face. Her nose was completely broken. And on top of that, she was stabbed multiple times. She suffered more wounds than others. Madison was found beside Kaylee in bed, also stabbed multiple times. Reports later revealed that Bryan was so exhausted after the attack, he allegedly sat down before leaving the house. Then he calmly left the house without saying a word, leaving behind a knife sheath that led him straight to the police. One of the surviving roommates saw Bryan walk straight past her door. All she could remember seeing was a tall man dressed in all black, wearing a mask that covered his nose and mouth. All she could see was his bushy eyebrows. She froze, locked the door. She tried to call everyone in the house, but no one was answering, until one of the other surviving roommates, Bethany, woke up and answered her phone call. She later went downstairs to Bethany's room, where they both waited, unsure of what happened. The next morning, no one inside their house had called 911. Instead, friends were contacted. A male student, Hunter Johnson, reportedly found the dead bodies, checked their pulses, and told his friends not to come in the house. Only after that did someone finally call the police. Police then arrived at the crime scene. It was then that it was confirmed that Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan were murdered. Imagine the trauma. This announcement shook everyone in Moscow, Idaho. It was just a small town, everyone knew each other. So how could this happen? Social media exploded with theories. A man seen near Kaylee and Madison near the food truck. One of their own friends, a student from Idaho University, who once dated one of the girls. But they were all cleared by the police. Videos of people trespassing the crime scene, even pretending to be involved, going around asking questions like they were investigators. This caused even more trauma to the victims' families. One thing in particular that stood out on social media was Papa Roger, a Facebook account that posted eerie predictions about the case. Many now believe it was Bryan himself. On December 30th, 2022, Bryan Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania. He was 28, a criminology PhD student, and lived just 15 minutes away from the victims. Police had built a solid case. His car was caught circling around the victim's house before he decided to murder them. His phone was also pinged 12 times before the attack. His DNA was literally found on the knife sheath, left next to one of the victims. He had turned off his phone on the exact time of the murders. Like his criminology degree didn't help for anything. He was extradited to Idaho and was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. After Bryan was arrested, everyone expected a massive trial, but it kept getting delayed. He didn't speak much in court. At one point, he refused to enter a plea. So the judge pled for him, not guilty. Prosecutors said that they were going for the death penalty. But in July 2025, 3 years later, he decides to plead guilty to all 4 murders. He only took the deal only to avoid the death penalty. Now he's facing 4 life sentences with no chance of getting out. At his plea hearing, he admitted to the murders with no emotion. Some families were relieved, some were pissed. They wanted a trial, they wanted answers. Like, why did he choose them in particular? Because Maddie, Kaylee, Zahn and Ethan, they didn't know him at all. So why did he pick them? He was sentenced on July 23rd, 2025. And all of the family's victims, they expressed their emotions. But Bryan just sat there like he didn't care. And still, to this day, he hasn't explained why he chose them. Bryan never explained why he did it. But here's what I think. He was a loner. No close friends. No relationship. People described him as awkward and creepy. And disconnected. He was reportedly on the autism spectrum and seemed to struggle socially his whole life. And here's the hard truth. Most people who grow up feeling invisible or rejected end up developing deep resentment. Especially when they watch people live the life they wanted. Those 4 students, they were everything he wasn't. Loved, happy, social, popular. In relationships. Living a life he felt completely cut off from. He didn't just want to hurt them. He wanted to erase what they represented. There are even reports that Bryan was obsessed with Elliot Rodger, the Isla Vista killer. Just like Rodger, Bryan carried the same bitterness, that obsession with women, and that anger at the world for not seeing him. In his twisted mind, I think this was about control, revenge, and attention. That's just my opinion. But what do you guys think?